when we talk about resilience, Troy, the thing of resilience is we have to understand people's story before we can really understand their resilience, right? Like their story, like understanding that resilience is not just in the moment. It's something that has to do with their story when we're talking about resilience. So our capacity for being resilient usually has to deal with the chapter of the story that you're in. So I want you to think about that, like your capacity of how resilient you are has to deal with the chapter of the story that you're in, whatever chapter you're on, because everything leading up to that will determine how resilient you are. Like every episode of your life, every chapter of your book that you've gone through will determine how resilient you are in the moment, right? So think about this, Troy, like when someone faces something, and from the outside standpoint, we're looking at someone face something, and what we're seeing is it might not seem like something so difficult. But the person dealing with it is having a hard time handling it or bouncing back from it or recovering from it. From our standpoint, we're like, man, that's not that hard or that's not that bad. Why are they having such a tough time dealing with that? Because the chapter of the story they're in right now, the difficulties that they've been going through in the past, the fact of how hard their life has been in the past is showing up at that very moment. Like their whole story is showing up at that very moment, which is why they're having such a tough time dealing with something that seems so simple. And from the outside standpoint, we're just looking at the right now. But for the person that's dealing with it, it's their story that's being impacted.